Oh, what a glorious day. Because joining us in our cyber studios on Ben and Skin's Super Soaker live stream is the GOAT, our favorite son, the man, the myth, the legend, the Hall of Famer, the statue, number 6 all time, the great
Keep
Dirk
going.
Nowitzki. Dirk!
How's it going? Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys after a long summer. You still look the same.
You look better actually. What happened? Did you get some work done?
I got some vitamin D. Well, I'm not big into that, but I got some vitamin D and some R&R. And yeah, we traveled a bunch of summer, spent some great time in Europe and went to the Olympics. And so done some great stuff. And it was a fun summer.
Yeah, there's so much to ask you about with regard to that. We want to get into your tennis event. We want to promote the heck out of that. The Dirk Nowitzki Tennis Classic 2024, presented by Chime. It's this Saturday. We're going to get into that, but I do want to ask you about. We were hearing reports that you might look at that. I like that.
Amazing.
So the Dragic retirement ceremony, and you were there in Slovenia, and we were hearing reports that you were going to play in that game. And so help us understand what was going on there.
Yeah, help me understand what's going on. No, it's really, it was an amazing event. Everybody came to show respect to Goran of what he's meant for European basketball, and so he brought a lot of his ex-teammates in, and he asked me if I wanted to come, and I said, of course, I want to support. But I told him on the phone right away. I said, hey, bud, I don't think I can play. Me running up and down and jumping, unfortunately, these days are over. But Steve actually, Nashi ran up and down a couple of minutes, so he still looks good. But it was awesome. It was an awesome event. Good to see everybody. So many guys that I hadn't seen in years that I've competed against a long, long time ago. And so it was almost like a nice little European basketball reunion. It was great to see some of the guys, and they did a great job for Goran. They had a fundraiser for his foundation the day before, and then the game on Saturday. And Jokic came, Luka obviously played, and so it was fantastic for all these guys to come and show respect to Goran.
Educate us a little bit about that, because I was reading about it from our buddy Mark Stein, and I know Steiny was there, but he was. And I'm pretty ignorant to this, Dirk, so forgive me, but he was kind of comparing the celebration to maybe something they do in European soccer when a legend retires. Did it have that feel?
So, yeah, I think a farewell game is usually normal in Europe, and we do it all the time for the national team or your club team does it for you. So I think it's pretty normal. In soccer, they do it all the time. And so we obviously are very familiar with that concept. And actually, the German Basketball Federation wanted to do one for me, and I just said, hey, after my career, I'm having ice cream for breakfast. There's no way I can run up and down the court anymore. So I never did one in Germany, but it's pretty common, and I'm glad they did that for Goran. It was a well organized event, and obviously Ljubljana is a beautiful city, so we all had a great time.
You know, in Dallas-Fort Worth, we love that you're so close with Luka. We just think that's a magical relationship, and we hope that, being around a guy who's so loyal to DFW for 21 years, that rubs off on 77 a little bit too. But tell us a little bit about your relationship with him and what it was like hanging out with him this summer.
It was cool. This is my first time I'd seen him all summer. Obviously, he went straight from here, basically home, went to the Olympic qualifiers, which they ended up not making to the Olympics. And so he's been vacationing a little bit, getting some rest, and now getting obviously ready for hopefully another long run. So that was my first time I'd seen him since the finals. And we just talked about the summer, talked about his family, and it was good to see him. And spend some time with him, and I think he's slowly gearing up now to come back here. Obviously, camp starts already in a few weeks, which is crazy. We're already back around the corner for another season. So, no, it's good to see him. Spend some time with him in his home there, and he loves being there. And he's so proud of Slovenia and his country, and his people. And so it's fun to be there and support. And I think he's looking forward to coming back to Dallas and for another long season, hopefully.
Do you give Luka more basketball advice or now dad advice? Because you got 3 of your own.
His IQ in basketball is so high that he's still giving me basketball advice. What I should have done back in the day. So, no, I mean, we talk some basketball, but mostly when we see each other, like on a short weekend like that, we talk more about life, how is his travel, and so it was more about really about what's going on in each other's lives and checking on each other, not so much hoops. But I'm sure once the season comes back around and he'll spend some time here, I'll also see him before the season and we'll talk a little more hoops. But I think he's happy with where the team's at. Obviously, adding some players. So I think he's thrilled to have hopefully another long season.
I know you got 3 kiddos, and I imagine they're getting into a bunch of youth sports and whatnot. What type of youth sports dad are you?
I'm the chilled one, I gotta say. I get a little embarrassed being out there and some of the parents, what they scream into the match. And I'm usually quiet. I rumble on the inside. And it's kind of like, you want to help your kid, but it's also, you don't want to be that dad that embarrasses their kid in front of everybody. So I'm pretty quiet and just be there for support. And maybe we'll have a little talk before or right after or, but I don't, during the match, I'll stay pretty calm and just try to support.
You haven't gotten your kids together with Hoger yet and had him.
He's already asked. And the other day I sent Hoger a video of Max, who's now 9.5. So he's got a little stroke. He can get the ball up to the basket now. So I sent Hoger his form. He made a couple free throws in a row. So I was all proud, and I had to share with Hoger, and he's like, yeah, make sure, the elbow is tucked more, make sure you breathe this. And I'm like, he's 9. Chill out. We'll get to that at some point. But Hoger is chomping at the bits to work with the boys.
So great. The Hero Celebrity Baseball game is something that we've enjoyed so very much, just being a part of it, watching it. But I've always felt like your tennis event is more of a hidden jewel. It's not as well known as the baseball game, but it's a little bit more intimate, fewer people, closer proximity. And this year's is taking place this Saturday, the Dirk Nowitzki Tennis Classic 2024, presented by Chime. It's taking place at T-Bar M. It's going to be from 2 to 5:30. If you're watching this or listening to this, you can go get tickets at the DN Foundation on social media, on Twitter and on Instagram, at the DN Foundation. The link is there in the bios. But what can you tell us about this year's event?
Well, it'll be fun. We didn't do it last year since I was busy with Hall of Fame, and then I was jetting off to the World Cup last year in the Philippines. So we're coming back off our 2-year break. We're looking forward to it, to hopefully another fun event. We moved venues obviously we've always been at SMU, and now we moved it to T-Bar, which is obviously we're members there, though that's our club. And so it's changed formats a little bit. This year we have a little more of a show course. So, back in the last couple of times, we've always had 6 courts playing at the same time. There was a lot of stuff happening. This year we only have 1 court. We can focus on, and it'll be almost a little more interactive with 1 court, and you can focus on one thing. We have some good restaurants catered, and we have some roller town, and so it's going to be a fun event for obviously families and children as well. And so coming out to support, and it'll be another fun event. And this year we're going to have some cool people try to play some tennis. We have Nashi's coming back. We have JJ Barria's coming to town. Mark Knowles is playing again. Some of these guys. And I think my good friend Klay Thompson is going to come out and play.
Let's go.
Which is a good get. We texted a little bit this summer on how he's feeling. I welcomed him obviously to the city and to the Mavs, and then I brought up this event. And he said, I love tennis. I want to come out and play. So it'll be awesome to have Klay in town and come to the event and support. So it'll be great to see him. And another surprise cameo by Dr. Phil is coming.
What?
What?
Dr. Phil is a big tennis guy. He's a big fan. Played with him over the last couple of years a couple times. He loves tennis, and so he'll come out and support. So I think we're going to have a good mix of fun guys, of good players, of just an enjoyable event. So come on out to support.
So it's Dirk, it's huge for you guys to get Klay to be a part of this, because he doesn't really have connections yet to the Dallas community. I mean, that'll grow. He may have some I'm not aware of, but he's a California guy and he's been with the Warriors. Did you guys have some sort of a mutual connection, or was there someone that put you guys together, or did you just blindly reach out to him?
So obviously I've known him. I talked to him at the All-Star games and stuff like that. So he knows that I've always enjoyed his game and always been a fan of his from afar. And then actually the connection happened this summer with over Zaza Pachulia, who's obviously still a very good friend of mine. I keep in touch ever since Zaza left us, and he won, of course, the championships with the Warriors and with Klay, and they're good buddies. And so I actually asked Zaza this summer if I can have Klay's numbers, if he doesn't mind. I want to reach out to him. I want to welcome him. And also want to invite him to come out. Just really, I wanted him to come and maybe support the event. But he's like, no, I love tennis. I want to play. So I actually don't know his skill level. That's one thing that we'd love to see. But it's great for him to come out and support.
Well, we have one thing that I'm very nervous about, because the last time at the Dirk tennis event that we had a Golden State Warrior play tennis, it was Harrison Barnes. And I've never seen such an incredible athlete be so bad at a sport. So we've got to hope he's better than our buddy Harrison. My God.
Oh man, Harrison, great dude. That actually at the time was like, he's like, I played a little tennis in college. I'll come out and play. What I didn't know is he didn't play much in college, and so. But it was fun. I love HB, and he always supported the stuff that I was doing. So much love.
Yeah, when Klay first signed, the first thing I saw was him playing pickup basketball in a Dirk jersey. Did you see that?
I did catch that somewhere on social media, which was amazing. He always called me the splash father or something that 1 year at the All-Star game. I just think there's obviously mutual respect for what we've done for our clubs and for basketball. And so can't wait to see him. Can't wait to talk to him a little bit. And honestly, on the Mavs wise, I'm happy for the fit. I think he's going to be great. Another guy who can spread the floor and defend multiple positions. And so I think he's going to be great for our tennis thing and hopefully for the Mavs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're stoked about that. So for the Mavs to get to the finals, what type of adjustments do they make? Now they got that experience. They played in the finals, but how do they take it a little bit further and get over the mountaintop?
Well, I think Boston showed that they were a little deeper on all positions and a little tougher on defensive end, and so I think we just had to add a couple more pieces, which I think we have. I think it hurt a little bit, obviously losing Jones Jr. I think he had a great run. He was shooting the ball well, surprisingly, and he was guarding multiple positions. But I really love the Marshall kid we got from New Orleans. I think he's going to do some of that. Klay obviously is a known great defender of twos and threes. Can switch some, can guard some bigger guys. So we added really some shooting on the weak side. We added some defense. Our big guys are still in the middle there. Luka and Kyrie are still going to do their thing. So if anything, I think we got even more deep, and we got more shooting. So I think some of the stuff was addressed. And you know how it is. It's a long season though, but if everybody stays healthy and has a good run and we're healthy at the right time, I really think we're set up to make another run at it.
I'm so interested, Dirk, in getting your thoughts on Lively because, there's this thought in the NBA. It's like, all right, you were a rookie, but man, the second year is where you can really grow. And sometimes we see really good players even take a step back because guys adjust to them, but that's usually more perimeter players. But, Lively wasn't even starting. But I think everyone's super excited about his ceiling. There's Tyson Chandler comparisons. What do you expect from him this year, and what kind of decision does Coach Kidd have to make on who he's going to start at the 5?
Well, honestly, it really doesn't matter who starts at the 5. I mean, you can go both ways, and I'm sure Jay Kidd's going to feel out how he's looking in camp, and it's also about combination, who plays best with who. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into that decision, but at the end of the day, I think both bigs are bringing some of the same stuff, the activity, the lob threat, the defense. And so I think we're super lucky that we have 2 5s there that can play and really anchor down the defense. So we're excited and Lively. I think sky's the limit. I mean, you can see that he's got a little touch. He started picking, popping a little bit. He's shooting some threes, I guess, in practice and stuff. So he's got the touch. He's got a nice touch, which obviously will develop even more as he gets a little older and mature and practices more. So, but his activity will always be there, anchoring the defense, going for lobs and keeping balls alive. So I think he's going to have a great future, and he's a perfect fit, obviously, with Luka and Kyrie. And so we're hoping that he's going to have another great year.
So, Dirk, we're speaking on behalf of the whole city here. Like, we're born and raised here. We love you. We all love you. You're such a phenomenal ambassador for our city and for our basketball team. And I think you're even a better human being than you were a basketball player, which speaks volumes.
Either I was a garbage player.
Right. But it's like when watching since the new ownership kind of started taking over, we see you around more often. We see you at midcourt with Patrick Dumont and things like that. And we just want as much Dirk as we can possibly get. If you're just in town, that's good enough. You're living here, raising your family here and whatnot. But we want you around the team as much as we can get it. So how has the new ownership impacted your involvement, and how do you see that evolving?
I'm not quite sure. It's actually a great question. Obviously, I've talked to Patrick a little bit. He wants me around a little more. He wants me involved, but really my stance hasn't changed that much on that. If I travel all the time and I really can't be there and give it my all, then it's kind of hard to really have an impact. And I don't really see for now, right, a change in my lifestyle for this season. So I told him, of course, I'm happy to help when I'm in town. Happy to go, obviously, to some games. Jay Kidd and I talk all the time. I talk to Finn all the time, but I'm not really in a position where I'm going to start traveling again and give up family life for the NBA life again. So I'm not quite sure. Well, at what point will I be ready to take the next step in? But for now, I love obviously supporting. I love being around. I loved following the playoffs very, very closely, going to most of the games. That was super exciting. I don't think I'm at a position yet where, I want to go all in and be around. And so more really support and be around when I'm in town.
We all saw the footage last year of you down at the Mavericks facility during training camp, and I know you got to pick and choose your spot. So are you going to ask Jess, hey, can I go to Vegas for the first week of training camp?
Yeah, I think that's crucial for me to be there, make sure that the team really gels the first week in training camp. So I'm gonna talk to wifey to see if I can stay a week, maybe even 10 days. I got to get there early.
Yeah.
Make sure the hotel, this room is okay and the beds are long enough. So I'm gonna see if I can make that work.
So the Dirk Nowitzki Tennis Classic 2024, presented by Chime, it's happening this Saturday, T-Bar M. Doors are opening at 2:30. It's $65, and it all goes to the Dirk Nowitzki Foundation, which does phenomenal work in our community. And you can go. We want you to follow the Dirk Nowitzki Foundation on social media, on Twitter and on Instagram. It's at the DN Foundation, at the DN Foundation, and the link to buy tickets is there. Again, a great cause and a great time. Who is the one person at this event that you're most excited about seeing play tennis?
Probably this year, I want to say Klay. I think
Yeah.
everybody else I've seen play tennis. I know Klay is a big fan of tennis. He was just at the U.S. Open. I saw him walk the red carpet, and he said he had a great time. So I know he's a big fan of tennis. I'm not quite sure about his skill level, but we will see that hopefully on Saturday. And like I said, it'll be fun to have him. And he's just a wonderful guy to be around. He's super chilled, super laid back. I think he's going to be a great fit for us and for the Mavs.
I follow, as Ben does, the DN Foundation on social media, and I was very entertained by your video getting picked up at the crib, and you were walking out of the house with your tennis racket. So why don't you give us a review of the it's Alto that are hooking you up with the rides on that. That was a good video, dude.
That was fun. A little low budget production there, but it was fun. Alto has been super generous and donated some rides from and to the dinner already, and then from and to the event. So they've been a partner. We had some other corporate sponsors come aboard this year, which is huge. Lufthansa is sponsoring our dinner. Chime is obviously, as you mentioned, presenting our actual tennis event, and numerous other sponsors came on board. We're growing. We feel like we're still growing, which is amazing, and of course helps us, at the end of the year, support many local organizations and projects that we love and support. And so it's all for a great cause.
Yeah, and if in case people don't know, Dirk, I mean, Ben and I might take this for granted because we've been following this closely, but what exactly does the Dirk Nowitzki Foundation do? What's y'all's purpose?
Well, we support children's organizations in the Metroplex. It's really well-being, health related. It can be really on a lot of fronts. So we find projects, we find organizations in the Metroplex that do great work, that don't have the means to raise big funds, and so we do the fundraising for them and support them. And over years, we've done some stuff in the education space. So it's really we've done some food drives, obviously, which you guys have seen over the last couple of years, which the need really showed during the pandemic, and we kept that up on big holidays to feed a lot of families. So we've gone in a lot of spaces, but it's mostly about children's organization in the Metroplex.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for joining us. We freaking love you. We're so excited about going to your tennis event on Saturday, and man, thank you.
Man, it's good to see you guys. I'll see you this weekend.
Welcome back, Dirk. Yeah.